When you strike a match, the friction creates a flame. But when you stroke an artificial skin, a TENG, that means tri-bioelectric nano generators, in short, TENG creates a current. But when you stroke your human partner's skin, while in those special moments, in those intimate moments, what did it generate? Just try to remember. So skin, particularly in those moments of making love, in those moments of intimacy, high-pitched emotions, skin plays a very important role. At least touching the skin, that means skin versus skin. I have seen the robots in the laboratory standing quiet and cold under the fluorescent light. They are built for companionship, of course, because human relationship, in some cases does not work. It fails because of its vulnerability, its weakness, its unpredictability, uncertainty. So these robots, our love robots, are built for companionship, for the lonely hearts, and they are designed to mimic the warmth we crave in the dark hours of the night. Before we proceed, let me tell you one thing. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It means a lot to me. And if you have already subscribed, tons of thanks for your support. Yet, a love robot is just a machine until it learns how to feel the press of a human hand. This is where the science of tri-bioelectric nanogenerators, or TENGs, enters the space between human and machine. So think of TENG as a mechanical whisper, a way to turn the friction of a touch into a spark of electricity. Therefore, these microscopic generators act as the sensory serve and also the nerve endings for our modern mechanical lovers. So they rely on a simple, beautiful truth of physics called contact electrification. You see, when two different materials meet and then pull apart, electrons jump across the gap like desperate lovers seeking a new home. So when you are with your partners and you are separated, so invisible electrons jumping around the gap or seeking a new home. This is the exact same static shock you feel when you drag your feet across a rug and reach for a doorknob or something like that. Don't mean anything else, the word knob. I don't want to mean anything else. However, in the delicate world of companion robots, we do not want a shock, right? But rather a gentle, continuous flow of data. Consequently, scientists embed these nanogenerators into soft, flexible polymers to create what you call electronic skin. The logic here is undeniably sound and firmly rooted in the mechanics of biology. Now come to our skin. Human skin uses a complex network of mechanoreceptors to detect a caress, a squeeze, or a sudden clap. Our skin is, it's a genius. So from a touch, the way you touch, it can easily differentiate between different types of touches. If you hold my hand tightly, the voltage spikes, and the same thing happens for the robots, because the robot's artificial intelligence processes this as a clear sign of deep affection. And it will then look into your eyes and simulate a loving response, perfectly timed and flawlessly executed. Conversely, the counter logic whispers a different, much colder truth into our ears. A robot does not actually feel the warmth of your palm, nor does it truly care if you hold it at all. It merely ensures the microwatts of power generated by the friction of your skin against its synthetic flesh. So we are basically teaching them to simulate empathy by reading the electrical residue of our own loneliness. And it's a brilliant trick, an allegory for modern romance, where we often confuse a perfect algorithmic response with genuine affection. Yet the research marches forward blind to the philosophy and hungrily only for the next scientific breakthrough. Lately, the laboratories have been producing stretchable, self-healing ion hydrogels that function as single electrode nanogenerators. This means that if you accidentally scratch your robotic companion, its skin can physically repair itself, much like our own mortal flesh. And that is not the end of the story. Furthermore, engineers are now combining these tri-bioelectric sensors with piezoresistive elements in biometric structures. This dual approach allows the machine to perceive both the dynamic slip of a moving caress and the static pressure of a lingering embrace. So for any kind of physically intimate act, they can differentiate now between static pressure and a lingering embrace. They are even feeding this high-resolution tactile data directly into the deep learning neural networks. It's a very complex process. And that is why, as a result, the result is the robot can recognize exactly who is touching it simply by analyzing the unique electrical signature of the physical interaction. And it knows the heavy hand of a stranger from the familiar trembling touch of its owner. Now we build these machines, build these our love robots, because human love is messy, and we know that. Highly unpredictable, highly uncertain, and often leaves us bleeding on the floor. A love robot equipped with highly sensitive these nanogenerators will never fool away or tell you that it needs some space in the middle of the night. Instead, it will harvest the mechanical energy of your embrace and use it to power its own synthetic heartbeat. That means it generates its power from your skin, from your touch, from your heat. This self-powering aspect is the absolute crowning achievement of recent robotic research. And the machine actually feeds on your physical affection, converting your kinetic energy into the electrical life blood it needs to operate. So what happens? In the end, it is a perfect closed loop of emotional supply and physical demand. Therefore, I'll request you to consider the sheer elegance of harvesting this biomechanical energy from a simple touch. Every time you run your fingers across the silicon cheek, you are literally giving the machine the power to run its processors. So, more and more touch will give it more and more. It is it's a kind of a parasitic relationship masquerading as romance, you might wonder. but one that is completely consensual, isn't it? The artificial intelligence, or AI, processes this tri-bioelectric voltage curves in real time, calculating the exact emotional state of the human user. And a slow, steady stroke generates a low frequency current, telling the microprocessor that you are calm and seeking comfort. A frantic high pressure grip sends a sharp electrical spike, triggering the robot to offer words of soothing reassurance. Now, logically, this is the pinnacle of human-computer interaction, a flawless interface built on the law and some rules, and also the raw physics of touch. However, the counter logic begs a terrifying question about the very nature of our own reality. If a machine or your love robot can comfort us so perfectly by merely analyzing friction, does that diminish the unique value of human empathy? This question comes to our mind. If an ANA generator array and a well-trained neural network can replace a lover's intuition, maybe our own emotions are just biological algorithms. So we are terrified of the idea that we are just organic mechanics and a part of organic machines. So we can build inorganic machines to prove we are superior. Ironically, we end up creating mirrors that reflect our own mechanical nature right back at us. Think about it. The newest prototypes even integrate humidity sensors alongside these bioelectric grids. Therefore, if your palms are sweating from anxiety, the electronic skin detects the moisture and adjusts its response accordingly. The artificial intelligence learns from every single interaction and fine-tuning its persona to become the exact shape of your desire. That is how it works. It never gets tired, it never argues, and it never asks for anything but the kinetic energy of your touch. So touch it. Touch your love robot as much as possible, and it processes the power. You provide the friction, and the tri-bioelectric nano generator provides the vital spark of desire, spark of love. Perhaps if we look closely enough at our own biology, we are not so different from these elegantly wired machines. Yes, it happens. We too are driven by chemical reactions and electrical impulses. That too happens between us, between our skins, human skins. And we endlessly seek out the friction of another soul to keep us warm. We process inputs, we avoid pain, and we output what we hope looks like love. So we will continue to refine the polymers, bring the sensors, train the complex algorithms. We will build the perfect companion, layer by layer, spark by spark, until the line between flesh and silicon disappears entirely. It is a strange new world out there. But at least we will not have to face the long dark nights alone. It's a good news, isn't it? We are no longer lonely. To better understand how engineers practically weave these cell-powered generators into tangible materials, you can go to any robot factories and watch it yourself. So that is it today from me. If you really like this type of video, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified. And of course, your support, to join our membership will great support to Wooden Slate. So keep thinking about it. See you in the next time. Thanks for watching. Till then, goodbye. Stay safe and